Hi, Linda.
Hey, Brent. Hey, family.
Hmm.
I have a question, Brent, and anybody in the family who can give some tips. Uh, since I started on this journey, it's like I've lost excitement in life. There is nothing that happens that I go like, whoa. And it goes both ways. It's not only the good things, but also the things that you consider to be bad. It can be news of an illness, news of a death, choices. For me, they just appear like, okay, it has happened. Okay. I don't have that much sadness or that much excitement, no matter how good things are, or no matter how bad things are. And I'm wondering if this is part of, of the journey,
Very
just to
interesting.
be, yeah, just to be there without all this excitement.
Yeah, very
Thank you.
interesting. Um, so some may feel, I don't think this is the case with you, but some may feel that spirituality, spiritual development is all about being super excited and blissful and joyful and in a state of ecstasy all the time. Um, but in fact, it's not really like that. It's coming to a baseline of contentment and peace and understanding and acceptance of what's arising. And I feel that some of us can come to periods on the journey, not always, but periods like where you're at, where there's just a very sort of mature steadiness um, to your emotional experience that isn't shaken by negativity or positivity. There's a wisdom there that even the positive things, if we become too attached to them or we're chasing those experiences, we know on a very higher level that it's not going to truly fulfill us and satisfy us. So we return to this baseline of just steadiness and peace. Um, Not that the full emotional range is no longer available to us, but perhaps we're no longer as sensitive to being uh, pulled in all directions. Something makes us really happy, then that ends, then we get really sad about it, and something makes us really sad, and then we kind of forget about that, and we get happy. It's like this up and down, up and down. It can actually cause quite a bit of suffering, the emotional up and down. Even when people are feeling really good, when it ends, can lead to a lot of suffering. To be steady, to be in a state of acceptance, to be in a state of peace and contentment, it's a pretty efficient way of operating. It can be quite alarming, especially for those that may have had a very strong emotional disposition prior, especially when you're trying to relate with other people or they're saying, why aren't you moved by any of this? You're not moved emotionally. This is unusual for you. In time, I think you may find a new way of relating with the emotions with deeper wisdom so you can ride the waves. You're willing to be sad, not afraid of that. Also willing to be happy knowing it won't last. So not attached to it. It's just there may be a lingering limbo period where we kind of just return to baseline and then reconnect with our emotions in a new way. Perhaps. I'm not quite sure, but it is not unusual to just be very steady, very, very steady. Um, but don't be alarmed. You can make a new relationship with emotions. And what I've found almost universally is that people that go through this path become very, very uh, tolerant of the full emotional spectrum, very flexible of the full emotional range, very flexible in their perspectives of a situation, of the world, very, very flexible. And that's really where I think we're headed here is true flexibility and the willingness to think, feel, or experience anything, to experience any different perspective without attachment. But in order to get to this really incredible place of ultimate flexibility, sometimes we do have to come to a point kind of like where you're at, where there's just a quietude, a steadiness that's unmoved by the ups and downs of life. So I hope that can speak to you and your experience. If others can relate, please, I'm sure as well. I know that this happened to me as well. And then what happened after that was I just became a lot more sensitive. to a degree that I never really had before, except I was totally willing to go there. Like I'm willing to cry, I'm willing to get angry, I'm willing to do all of these different have all of these different emotional experiences. But in order to get there, I had to feel like quite stale and neutral for some time as well. So I hope that can speak to you, Linda.
Very much.
Great, great. Okay.